once you got your design onto the bark, and it's fairly easy to start etching your design. Yeah, I was just kind of messing with some little strips of bark, and I had some, you know, I drew some little animal designs into it, and then I etched it out, and you know, came back and looked at it, and it looked really nice. And so I just kept going from there. So I'm going to do like a leaf pattern on this border here for this next project I'm working on. Yeah, when you harvest your bark in the spring or the winter, it leaves this brown layer on that you're able to etch into. Once you get into it, kind of just forget about everything you've done today, all your problems. And then if you kind of do mess up, you know, you can just always add a little more and incorporate your mistakes into your work. And so this little piece here is going to be a border on a larger wall piece. Maybe like this little bird would be up in here if this was a tree or something, you know. So I'll just I'll keep adding pieces as I go to the scene. Like I was showing you there, I just lay the birch bark down on the back there, and then I put different little pieces of spring bark over it. And I have the grandfathers down in the bottom with the 7 fires, and we got our ancestors who have made their journey to the Great Spirit up here in the sky. And it's got a nice floral border. This art form isn't anything new in our culture. You know, hundreds of years our people have been, you know, utilizing, you know, spring bark, and, you know, even thousands for utilizing birch bark. It's such a versatile medium. You can use it from, you know, as artwork. They use it as for housing. After you would pass on and go on to your journey, they would wrap you in birch bark. And so it's kind of like you know, from conception to death, birch bark is part of the Anishinaabe culture and way of life. Anishinaabe people like to say, you know, when you go out into the woods, that's the Anishinaabe Walmart. You can get all your resources and everything you need out there. I started making baskets and winnowing baskets for wild rice, and then, like, you know, berry picking baskets. And then one day I had a basket that wasn't finished, and I think might have been my daughter or my nephew, were running around with the basket on their head. And I thought to myself, you know, if I put a brim on that, that'd look like a top hat. This is kind of more of a fancy one here. It's got the spring bark brim on it. It's got a nice big braid of sweetgrass. It has some silver work on the sides. It has the mukwa on this side here. And we got the maingi and the wolf on that side there. This is the hat my daughter wears. She's the Red Cliff princess for their powwow they had last summer.
I really like it because, you know, when someone asks me, like, whose hat are you wearing, who made that, I get to say that my dad made it. And I get to answer all their questions, like, who is he, where is he from, all that. So, and it's like a personal thing. Like, you don't see many people with a birch bark hat on. You know, if you see someone with a birch bark hat, you know it's a Savage girl dancing.
And I kind of moved into the ball cap style. Here on this one, I did a dragonfly by the flowers here. I got some arrows on the side. A lot of people like the feathers on the back of this one, the headdress style. I got a dream catcher on the side. I also like to do work on the bottoms of the brims. They're pieces of art, but they're also wearable. So it's kind of up to you what you want to, if you want to stick it in the curio cabinet or wear it. I mean, they're functional, you know, and if you're out on the lake and drop your hat in the water, it'll float. You won't lose it canoeing. Absolutely, it's nice seeing people wearing your stuff around. Makes you feel proud. Makes you feel like you've contributed something.